No time for an introduction. Let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Tyrone Johnson. It was suggested by Kira Beera 24/7. Shout out to you for this. In 2018, Tyrone had made dinner. He was eating dinner with his girlfriend, Stephanie. Now, Stephanie had a 10-year-old son. His name was Ricky. Ricky was in the house, but he was not at the table. Now, while they was eating dinner, Tyrone decided that he wanted to change the channel on the TV, and Stephanie got upset because she didn't want to watch it. Now, the argument apparently got so bad that Stephanie told Tyrone,
"I see why your son killed himself like a bitch, cause you're a bitch."
And Tyrone was like, oh my God. Tyrone did have a son who did unfortunately commit. I do not mean he took a pledge. He passed away. Now, this hurt wide-nosed Tyrone's feelings. He was like, oh no, not me. So he hobbled away. Literally, because he had foot surgery very recently, and so he couldn't just walk straight. So he kind of like got on his little foot scooter, and he did a little wobble. Now, apparently, Stephanie was so upset about whatever he changed that channel to. I mean, I don't know what it was, but she was so upset, she started following him to the bedroom. And not for foreplay. She was like, mink. How dare you put on a Powerpuff Girl? I want to watch Love and Hip Hop. I don't know what they was watching. I'm just saying. Now, poor old defenseless Tyrone, who could sniff the wrinkles off of old people here, he was just so hurt because of his foot. And he couldn't fight back. No, his parents told him never put your hands on a woman. But they never said nothing about a gun. Just when she was about to hit him with man's best friend, their PlayStation, he pulled out the Peacemaker. So he went into the bedroom, grabbed a pew-pew, and he pew-pewed multiple times, took her out. Now remember, Stephanie had a 10-year-old son. His name was Ricky. Now little Ricky ran up in that room. He had said, "You hurt my mama?" And then little Ricky jumped him. Now, broke foot Tyrone, he couldn't take his girlfriend. He definitely couldn't take a 10-year-old kid. So he pulled out that pew-pew. Yeah. Now he was so distraught by what he did, he called the police and he turned himself in. Here's just a little bit of the interview with the police.
Did you say you hurt my mommy? Is that what you said?
Move your black ass over, Jonathan Mayers. We got another big nose ready for an Oscar. Now, that's the story he told the police. But is that what actually happened? Let's look at the facts. Yes, it is true that he did have a son that offed himself. And even though his story did not change, and they found both of the bodies inside of the master bedroom where he said everything happened, there were still other things that he just conveniently left out. And it mainly has to do with Ricky. Let me get a better picture. That's better. I didn't want Tyrone's big nose sniffing up all the air. For one, red bodily fluids, splatter from Stephanie was found in the bathroom. But now, of course, it's all terrible what he did to them. So after he, got rid of her, he claimed that Ricky came in the room and confronted him and jumped him, and he was defenseless because of his foot surgery. But they went into Ricky's room. It's a little graphic. I'm going to try to be nice about it. They saw that his comforter and his toys were thrown all over the floor. They found red bodily fluid underneath his socks, meaning he stepped in it. They found regurgitation on Ricky's floor in multiple spots. They found pew-pew holes under the bed with another pool of red bodily fluids, meaning he never confronted Big Nose Tyrone. Tyrone chased him and he was trying to hide under the bed. Now, while Stephanie was pew-pewed 2 times, one in the chest and one on the forehead, Ricky had got pew-pewed 6 times. In the jaw, the arm, and the collarbone, his thigh, his wrist, which this was defensive so they could tell that he was trying to block what was happening, and in his temple. When they did the autopsy on it, they had discovered that after 5 shots, he actually still would have lived and would have been able to move. It was the temple shot that finished it off. I hate this nigga. Because he claimed that everything happened in the master bedroom. That's where they found both bodies. But no, he moved the bodies. Then he got to court. He was like, "Oh, I had such a terrible childhood, and my son had, committed, and I was just thinking, blah, blah, blah." They blamed a lot on their grandma. When I say they, I mean him and his brother. Although his brother kind of redacted some of the stuff that he said, this is what they said. They said on the wedding day, the grandma beat up their mom. I'm not laughing, but he said the grandma beat up the mama because the mama was disrespecting the grandma just right before the mama was finna get married. Then they said that the daddy used to beat on them and came after them with nunchucks. And the mama stood her naked tail between the dad and the kids trying to protect them from the dad with the nunchucks. Ninja. Yo, I can't make that up. I guess the dad was like, "Come here. Where do you get nunchucks from?" I'm not laughing. Where do you get nunchucks from? But once again, the brother actually took all this back and was like, oh, well, it actually wasn't like this. When he realized that nobody was following his side, guess what his tactic was? This man got in court and said, the system is set up against me. You don't know me. You don't know where I've been, who I had to kill to get here, and what I had to do to get where I am now. Like literally, watch this.
Johnson tried to shift the blame to a corrupt legal system that stacked the deck against him.
The state knowing nothing about me would have you believe that before you was a vicious man who went hunting for human life.
One thing about niggas, they ain't gonna never take responsibility. Yeah, I did it, but it ain't my fault. My grandma beat my mama up, and y'all won't let me get a good job. Y'all just wanna blame a black man. My daddy used to beat me with nunchucks, and the police ain't nothing but white people. And that one time when I was in middle school and I stole that pencil, and I told them I ain't do it, and nobody believed me. Y'all just wanna see me fail. Well, in the end, it's Florida, and you know they love the death penalty. He's on death row. That's where his little profile is from. In either case, rest in peace to Stephanie and Ricky. I'm so sorry that, yeah. Once again, shout out to Kira, baby. Make sure you guys are suggesting stories because I do get to them eventually. Also, a slightly extended version of this story is going to be uploaded to YouTube in just a little bit. So make sure y'all go check the YouTube out. And yeah, it's crazy, right?